The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day out there, wherever you're at in the world watching this video. And I wanted to continue talking about some of the people on the undercard of this Chocolatito-Estrada fight. And we're going to talk about, Camden, New Jersey's very own Raymond Ford. Now, Raymond Ford, when we talk about Raymond Ford, it's been a while since I did a video about Raymond Ford. But I think he deserves a video because, in watching Raymond Ford's development as a pro, in boxing from his pro debut to now, I think he's developing quite nicely. Because if we go back and we just go through the first couple of fights of Raymond Ford's career, he looked like he was just going to be one of those, like, honestly, early on, it looked like he was just going to be one of those, fighters who had a good amateur pedigree, who really didn't have the, I don't want to say the style, but he was a bit too amateurish for his own good. It looked like that for a very brief moment in time for his first two fights. But these last couple of fights, over his last, I would say, like 4 fights, he's really began to make that transition to professional ranks to where he's throwing them grown man punches, Grown man punches is something you got to deal with. And Raymond Ford is making all of his opponents deal with them. He's got 3 stoppages in his last 4 fights. He's taking on Aaron Perez, 10-0 with 6 KOs. Aaron Perez really hasn't fought anybody crazy, but it's Raymond Ford's 9th professional fight, so I won't criticize him too much. But Raymond Ford, he really came out and made a statement, and I think this is what we're talking about. Raymond Ford came out and said that he feels he's the best prospect in boxing, and there's a lot of good prospects in boxing. And so to say that he's a creme de la creme out of all of them, either he's blown with smoke or he really has some serious self-belief in himself. But let's get into the quotes into what he said verbatim. He said, I quote, "I feel like I'm the best prospect in boxing, in all of boxing, not just at Matchroom. I'm talking everywhere. I feel like I could be a contender by the end of the year, but I want to fight 5 more times after this fight and then going into 2022. I want to challenge myself and get a shot at a world title. This is what I've been waiting for. It's time to show who I really am. I don't want to just be beating these guys I'm supposed to beat. He's a young, unbeaten prospect, the same as me, and I feel that this is the perfect time to show who I am. I wasn't sure what to expect coming into the pros, whether I would be moving fast or moving slow. I was going along with it. I've recently been looking to make the decisions to move fast a few fights ago. Even with COVID, I fought 3 times last year. And the first card wasn't until August. So Eddie Hearn is moving me along great, and they're starting to test me now. I wasn't supposed to be back until April, so being back in March is great for me." So there you have Raymond Ford backing himself. And, I've seen, I remember a couple fights ago, Raymond Ford fought on the Cecilia Brækhus Jessica McCaskill undercard. And he came out to the ring with a jean jacket vest, which was extra different. So kudos to you, Raymond Ford. You got some different drip coming out of Camden, New Jersey. But, the last couple of fights, he's really been showing the glimpses of a fighter he can be. Sometimes I watch him, and he puts these beautiful 4-5 punch combinations together. And Raymond Ford is sometimes he's giving me these little visions of like a Gervonta Davis type of fighter. I don't think he's as explosive as Gervonta Davis, but every now and then when he throws his combinations together, it kind of looks like it a little bit. So I say that to say that I think we haven't seen the best. I think we're not even close to seeing the best Raymond Ford. I think he's going to continue to develop very nicely. And I think he's someone that, when he says he wants to move forward and he wants to really challenge himself and become world champion, I believe him. I believe it. And I believe by the end of this year, he will have shed the prospect label and he will be a full-fledged contender in the 126-pound division. And, the thing about the featherweight division as it stands right now, because all we can do right now when it comes to the featherweight division is talk about how it stands right now at this present moment. The featherweight division to me is one of the divisions in boxing that's missing. It's just missing. It's missing that X factor. You got some world champions up there. You got Emmanuel Navarrete, who I like, who's very good. You got Gary Russell Jr., who's going to be fighting really soon. You got Kid Galahad. You got Zhu Can. You got Josh Warrington, just got knocked out. Isaac Dogbe. There's some solid fighters there. Joet Gonzalez. Julio Ceja. Christopher Pitufo Diaz, a lot of names that we're familiar with as boxing fans, but there's not really, aside from maybe Emmanuel Navarrete, who I think to me is, at this present moment in time, him and Gary Russell are the 2 best fighters in that division, but there's no fighter in that weight class Because you gotta understand, Navarrete, he's really did most of his damage at 122. He's a new 126 pounder, so he hasn't really established himself in the featherweight division. So what I'm saying is there's a void in the featherweight division, and I think Raymond Ford is very capable of stepping in that void and really making a name for himself, really making himself someone that when people talk about weight classes in boxing, he could be one of the first names you mentioned. The same way when we talk about 115, we talk about Estrada and Chocolatito, and we talk about 147, we talk about Crawford and Spence, and we talk about 140, we talk about Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez. I think Raymond Ford is good enough to be the kind of fighter that when we talk about the featherweight division, he's one of the first two names you mentioned out of our mouth. So listen, Raymond Ford, I'm looking towards a great performance this weekend. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in the crowd. I'm going to be making my True School Sports official vlog for the fight. Do not disappoint, because I'm really backing you here, and I've believed in Raymond Ford for a long time. Very talented kid. I could be wrong. I'm gonna check right now, but I could be wrong. But I remember when he was in the amateurs. I believe he beat Keyshawn Davis. Let me see. Did he beat Keyshawn Davis? I gotta see this guy beat Keyshawn Davis before I end this video. That's the main thing I need to see. Did he beat Keyshawn Davis? I don't see anything about Keyshawn Davis, but see, he lost to Keyshawn Davis once, and I don't see anything else about Keyshawn Davis. So I saw someone say that he beat Keyshawn Davis in the amateurs, but I could be wrong about that. So if he beat Keyshawn Davis, and you guys know, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna check that after this video is over. But he's a very talented fighter, and I just think he has a high ceiling. And I think these next couple of fights, these next 4, 5, 6 fights, we're gonna see Raymond Ford really begin to grow in his talent, his boxing instincts, and in that transition into the professional ranks. So make sure y'all watch out for him. He's on the undercard of Chocolatito-Estrada too. Raymond Ford coming to you from Camden, New Jersey. One of the top prospects in America, and one of the top prospects in the featherweight division. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.